members alone. Most of this really became apparent in 2020 during the pandemic.
Right.
Post-pandemic, typically megachurches found themselves operating with only 2,000 members per house. Some, such as the Crystal Cathedral, declared bankruptcy. It's wild to think about it, isn't it?
Right.
Why are megachurches collapsing? You would think with crazy amount of money churches put into recruiting new members that they would be booming. The truth is that they're failing because they're in a perfect storm of factors that would harm their chance of keeping members. Losing the faith due to abuses.
Yeah, you just pick up right there.
Okay. People have seen the videos of pastors shaming families for not donating thousands to a church. Like it or not, churches have done a lot of damage to American society in recent years.
That's right. A lot of damage. The main thing they've done is promote and use the prosperity gospel, which does not teach the law, statutes, and commandments. All right? Let's read on.
Sex scandals. Most people have heard of all the priests who have been arrested as a result of their indecent actions towards children. Some have even heard of the crazy thing that happened with Jerry Falwell Jr. and the Coco pool boy disaster. Sex scandals are fairly common in the world of megachurches for reasons that are hard to fully explain. Regardless, hearing one too many scandals will make people rethink who they choose to worship with.
Beautiful. So the same format that allowed these megachurches to flourish is the same thing that's bringing them down, right? The internet, and television and news reports, right? You send your message of donate to me out and you get rich, but then when you get caught with your pants down doing some ill wickedness behind closed doors, that same medium of video is what can bring you down to the ground. Beautiful.
Okay, choose to worship with, especially if they have kids. Embezzlement scandals. Now let's talk about the biggest elephant in the room. Mega churches have a bad reputation when it comes to money expenditures, whether it's demanding patrons pay for a private jet for the pastor's time out, being a tax fraud center, or just stealing from the poor. Doesn't matter. What matters is that people notice a lot of financial fraud going on in these churches. People generally don't want to pay people who are defrauding the IRS through a church.
Right. That's the last piece right here.
Oh, okay. So what's going to happen now that mega churches are fading out? Many small-scale churches are also starting to close their doors, with mega churches often scooping up stragglers from those old flocks. On the flip side, many mega churches are also losing their parishioners to smaller, more local-based groups.
Right. So it's a back and forth. People leaving these small churches because they find out they're not learning nothing, right? So then they might get taken in by the extravagance of a mega church, but then when they get in there, they realize, well, damn, this is too expensive to come here. You know what I'm saying? And so they end up back at the house watching TV. You know what I'm saying? So, every mega church operates on the prosperity gospel, pretty much. I mean, you say every. There might be some outliers, but for the majority of them, that's what you get, right? And these obnoxiously large buildings, that's a major component of the doctrine, right? Of the speak your blessings into existence theology, right? So they play on your emotions, right? And so now you feel obligated to give big support to the ministry, right? Because they say, oh, we got to keep the lights on in this big ass building, or don't you, like the nice stuff that we have here? Even though you don't really have no control over it, you can't really fully enjoy everything that church has. For you, it's just for bragging rights. You know what I'm saying? So let's take a look at the prosperity gospel in this next article. Okay?
9 things you should know about the prosperity gospel.
Which we're not going to go through all 9 things. We're going to cover most of them, right?
Number 1, the prosperity gospel goes by many names and brands. The prosperity gospel is an umbrella term for the health and wealth gospel, or name it and claim it.
Right. That's other ways that's it's identified, right? Name it and claim it, right? Like that they'll say, you gotta claim that, you gotta speak that into existence, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Name it and claim it theology. Many people will recognize its most popular brand, the Word of Faith movement. It's a contemporary Christian movement that has garnered both a massive following and considerable controversy. This doctrine teaches that God wills the financial prosperity and physical well-being of his people, and that faith, positive speech, and donations to select Christian ministries can increase one's material wealth and health.
Right. So prosperity gospel teaches, right, that if you donate, you'll be blessed, right? And apparently this must be the main topic or the main message of the Bible, right? Because this is all they talk about. This is literally all they teach.
That's where the black woman get it from. A lot of women say, I'm just going to speak it in existence.
Yeah.
I'm going to husband, I'm going to speak it in existence. I'm going to manifest it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's what they got. Okay, I hear that last 5 or 6 years a lot.
It's under the umbrella of prosperity gospel, right? And that's how you know that this prosperity gospel has done leached into all these small local churches. You know what I'm saying? They all have that same mindset. The article's going to talk about that too. You know what I'm saying? So let's read on.
Okay. The doctrine of the assurance of divine physical health and prosperity through faith is at the forefront of the expression of Christian faith. It means that health and wealth are the automatic divine right of all Bible-believing Christians and may be procreated by faith as part of the package of salvation, since the atonement of Christ includes not just the removal of sin, but also the removal of sickness and prosperity.
Right. So, when they're saying that if you donate, you'll be blessed, well, we should be able to see that in the scriptures, right? And it must be, we should be seeing it all throughout the Bible, because that's all they teach. But let's get Psalm 106:3.
Blessed are they that keep judgment, and he that doeth righteousness at all times.
Right. So no, it's not blessed is he that donates, right? Which obviously donating to a righteous cause is beneficial, right? But no, you got to be righteous and do right at all times, right? And just like in Psalm 119:2, it would say, blessed is he that keeps his testimony, all right? Or in Luke 11:28, blessed is he that heareth the word and keep it. Okay, these are what's more important. Revelation 1:3, blessed is he that readeth. Okay, another thing they don't do in the mega churches prosperity gospel, they don't read the Bible, right? They'll read a pamphlet or they'll read a book that some Christian theologian wrote, right? But they don't read the scriptures, right? And then so give us Revelation 22:14.
Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter through the gates into the city.
Right. So if you do the commandments, that's going to give you right to the tree of life, right? Not how much money you give to a wicked pastor. Okay? So if they were being honest, they will be teaching these topics and not only focused on you giving donations, right? They say faith, but really when they saying that, they really mean donations.
Right.
You know, they really don't care about faith either, because faith has to have works with it. You understand? And they'll teach that they don't need any works. All you need is faith, but they still want you to work that money out of your wallet and work it into that collection plate. You see, it's hypocrisy, y'all. That's why you gotta get up out of there, blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Leave that to the heathens. Okay, so-called white man in other nations, let them have that. We need to be in this book, reading it, learning it, understanding it, and putting it into practice. That's what we need to be doing. All right? So let's read on.
Number 2, the prosperity gospel has its roots in the occult movement known as New Thought.
Right. So we talking about an occult movement. We're talking about something that's spooky, right? Something that's it's real spiritual, supposedly spiritual. It's real ritualistic and it's real like spooky. That's the best way I can explain it, and that's how these Christians love